Welcome back to this Sunday's edition of Sports Live. Now, the Africa Cup of Nations has reached the semi-final stage with just 4 teams remaining in the competition. Bafana Bafana, they'll be taking on Nigeria in the first semi-final on Wednesday. Kickoff is 7 p.m. While the host Ivory Coast will be up against the Democratic Republic of Congo in the second game of the same day, which is a 10 p.m. kickoff. Now, to speak to us about the tournament, we are joined by former footballers, legends of the game, Marks Maponyane via Teams, and Eugene Zwane, who is in studio. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for us. We're all smiles because it's been 24 years since Bafana Bafana have qualified for a semi-final. Eugene, I want to start with you. Just your thoughts on the tournament so far.
It's been a spectacular tournament. There's been so many positives coming out of this tournament. You see the level of the game has gone a notch up. I think we are edging closer and closer to that World Cup victory. There's so much fierce competition. There's a lot of big name stars coming from all over the world. So there's just so much happening in African football that is captured in this tournament, and it's a huge plus for the continent.
No, absolutely.
On the continent.
Yeah, Marks, I mean, CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe had said that this would be one of the best tournaments that we have ever witnessed. Do you think that has lived up to that statement? You know, when you bear in mind that this AFCON was supposed to take place last year, and of course it is, taking place this year, and just the teams that have qualified to the knockout stages.
Yeah, in fact, it has lived up to expectations. And one thing that I praised when I saw several games, not one, is the pitch. I mean, I looked at the pitches and I thought that looks more representative to the continent. And also the prize money. I don't even think that's driving the players. What's driving the players is the pride of the nation. And that is what we're looking at now. I mean, 130 million rands, that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A huge increase of 40%, which is what we saw. I want us now to talk about the action on the pitch, the teams that have made it to the semi-finals. A lot of people are speaking about the host, Ivory Coast, with their smash and grabs and how they've reached the stage. Yeah. Does every team that is in the final 4 deserve a spot in the semis? Well,
deserve, I'm not so sure, but ultimately, it's about the resilience of the team, the hard work of the team, and being able to grind that result, regardless of how you perform. Because this is knockout football. You don't have to play the fanciest game to produce the result. And we've seen it with the Cote d'Ivoire. You know, as you say, smash and grab. Every game they've played, they look like they were losing. And in the end, they triumphed, you know. But it's also about the spirit, the winning spirit within the team. So I think, yeah, maybe they do deserve, but I think there were other deserving teams that have since left. But again, it's knockout football. You know, you don't always get to the top because you deserve it. You know, it's about how hard you're going to work on the day and whether you have the team that has the mentality to win the game on the day. And that's what we've seen.
No, absolutely. I mean, Marks, what is happening to the standard on the continent when you look at the top-ranked teams who do not feature in the knockout stages? Is it a matter of the competition has become so tightly closed, or is it now a tournament of the underdogs, or is it a tournament of the hard workers? What exactly is this painting a picture, especially when you look at the rankings and who we expected to see at this stage?
Yeah, I think it's a tournament of hard workers, and you look at the top 5, we're out of it straight away. And also the North Africans, they just really battled. I'm sure it's because of the heat out there in Cote d'Ivoire. But as for Cote d'Ivoire, like Eugene said, you need a bit of luck too, because they don't deserve to be here. But anyway, who cares? When you don't deserve to be and go on to win, we will always remember you as a winner. But if you look at DR Congo, they also haven't been doing very well, but they have been getting the results. That's interesting. And then you look at Cote d'Ivoire itself. They've been lucky. I mean, yesterday scoring on the 120th minute. And it's a side that has really been out of the tournament and suddenly be told, no, you're in it. You know, when they qualified, it was also through the back door. But you need all the luck, and you cannot really complain as long as you, especially the hosts, because the expectations are high. This tournament would have been dead if the hosts had gone or had not even made it to the knockout stages.
Yeah, to add to Max's point, so on a different day, even Bafana Bafana could have exited the tournament, because if you don't convert two penalties in the shootout, chances are you did. But it was the heroics of our goalkeeper that won us the match yesterday. But it could have been a totally different outcome. So there was a bit of luck there as well.
No, absolutely. I want us now to focus solely on Bafana Bafana and the run that they've had at this tournament. You know, didn't start well against Mali, but after that, they really just picked up. Your assessment of the South Africans from day one and up until this moment where they've now qualified as semi-finalists. Marks, let's start with you.
Yeah. Oh, yes. In fact, one can recall vividly what happened. Opening match, they were just clutching at straws and wondering what's happening. And that is when we really didn't look good at all, losing by 2-0 against Mali. And then fortunately, because on the other hand, that's when Namibia, our neighbors, were winning. And after Namibia's victory, they came to South Africa thinking, well, we are fine. We just beat Tunisia. We are on the ball. And who's South Africa? And especially because we lost, not drawn, but lost. And then they came with their tails up high. They were humbled. We beat them good 4-0. And that boosted our confidence. Then came the big one, Tunisia. And it never was big at the time because we only needed a draw or even any other results because the 4 was good enough to see us through. So we finished second. Then came the game that we were all looking forward to, the Tunisia, in fact, the last game. And that Tunisia game was the one that set up the tone. Then Morocco. I mean, who plays Tunisia and Morocco back to back? And the Morocco one was a big victory for us. And personally, I did not believe that we will beat Morocco. Obviously, on paper, they're number one. And they have done well in the tournament, let's also agree. So I thought, we are going to really bite the dust here. And we didn't bite the dust. We played our best football. But then yesterday, as the coach says, he has never seen the team so tense. We were tense. And you can imagine working in such a game. I mean, it's patriotism and reality. And the reality was we were equal. That team came to us knowing that pound for pound, we were the same as them, Cape Verde. But Rowan, as Eugene said, was our hero for the night. Bafana has done well because they've had heroes in every game. And that, to me, was a big plus, instead of relying on one person.
No, absolutely. You look at Captain Fantastic, 4 clean sheets, saving 4 penalties. And just in terms of the number of clean sheets, also battling against Nigeria's Stanley Nwabili, who's also playing in the PSL. There's something good that's happening right here at home. I mean, if the Golden Glove contenders are playing in the PSL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nigeria haven't considered a goal yet. And the goalkeeper is a place for Chippa United in the PSL, you know, and Ronan, as we all know, plays for Sundowns. So it says something about the level of competition in the PSL as well. So we're very, very thrilled about that.
So the big one is going to be on Wednesday. It's either Nigeria or South Africa that will progress. I want to know what should be Hugo Broos's game plan going into this game. A lot of people are worried about the same starting lineup that has been produced for all of these games. Could the tired legs be coming through? Could exhaustion be a factor in this? You know, the likes of Percy Dow, you know, still looking to get that golden performance from him. So Eugene, just going into Wednesday, how do we attack the Super Eagles that have a great impetus with Victor Osimhen, you know, and the likes, the Lookmans of the world?
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. There's no doubt about that. But our game has been formulated on the basis of a strong defense. As you rightly point out, 4 clean sheets. We started wobbly in the first game, but we've since recovered, and our defense has been fairly solid. So if we continue on that vein, we stand a chance to progress. But you must also remember that Nigeria is the largest contingent of European-based players, and most of them are forwards, deadly forwards. I mean, you talk about Victor Osimhen, current footballer, African Footballer of the Year. He banked 10 goals. In the qualifiers for Nigeria in just 6 games. So he's only just scored 1 so far in the tournament. So he'll be wanting to get onto the score sheet in the next game. So that's where the danger is going to be. But if we continue to be solid in defense as we've been up until now, we stand a chance. But I think we also need a few of our top players to raise their hands. We point out Percy Tau. We really haven't seen the best of him in this tournament. Mandla Zwane has given us glimpses, but age is no longer on his side. But the magic is still there. So for as long as he can play, I think he can produce something for us. But we need a few of the other guys to raise their hands in attack and get onto the score sheet, and then we'll win the game.
Yeah, Max, maybe just to close things off for us, what we need to do on Wednesday. It's going to be an interesting matchup. CAF Footballer of the Year, Victor Osimhen, taking on the CAF Interclub Player of the Year, Percy Tau. What should the South Africans do to ensure victory?
Fortunately, as Eugene said, the defense is solid, so we can take care of Osimhen. Lookman is the man that's really been dangerous, but Osimhen cannot be written off because of his hard work. He's been working very hard up front, either alone as a target man or as a three with Simon and making sure that Lookman, Simon, and Osimhen are taking care of the strike force. So we will be fine at the back. I've been impressed by our defenders, all of them. And in particular, it's going to be Mvala for me, who's really been putting everything, his body on the line. So the defense is fine, and hopefully that Motau will still be fine. He's been working very hard. So that's the team that we are going to be looking at. Ask me if the coach will change the starting lineup from what we've seen recently. I don't think he will change it. He will go with the same starting lineup, and then he will change it as it goes on.
Sure. Quick score prediction.
We should beat Nigeria. I've been fortunate to work in 2 of Nigeria's games back-to-back, including this one against Angola. And they really not that lethal. They really struggled against struggling Angola, because Angola could have beat Nigeria. It's only that even their top players were out of tune on the day. So on the day, we can do well against Nigeria. They are not really lethal. They are not untouchable. We can beat them.
Max doesn't want to give us a score prediction. I wanted to know.
You want numbers.
Numbers, please.
You wanted the winner.
Yeah.
No. We should win that game by 2-1. Ow. Remember, we're not seeing the 3-0 and the 4-0. Gone are those days now. This is knockout football. So 2-1 should be the scoreline.
All right, 2-1. Eugene?
Yeah. I think we should approach the game with the idea of getting a goal and shutting the back door. I think if we're going to go toe-to-toe with Nigeria and the daily forwards, it's going to be a bit too risky. We get a goal, we shut the back door, 1-0 to Bafana Bafana.
Nazo, yeah. You heard it from Eugene Zwane, Max Maponyane, Bafana Bafana walking away with a victory come Wednesday. Do remember that our sister station, SABC 1, will be broadcasting that match live on Wednesday as South Africa take on Nigeria. Kickoff is 7 p.m.